Hello there. This video concerns what your student should be working on during asynchronous learning time. I promised this video to families. I'm sorry actually that it took as long as it did. It's been pretty crazy first few weeks. So here we go. I do want to mention, as I'm making this video today, 9/18, that it is important to know we are going to be changing schedules starting September 28th, based on the information that just came down from the district. What I need you to know is that asynchronous learning time will look different after the 28th. Many of the things that you will see today will still be true. There will just be some additional things added, most likely. So more than likely, they'll still be iReady, reading to self, and finishing incomplete work. But I can also imagine that there may be some additional subject areas scheduled in that time frame. So please look out for the updated version of this video. In the meantime, I want to show you what the expectations are currently for asynchronous time. So this document that I'm about to show you is going to be something that you can find on Canvas. Actually, it's already up, but just in case, I want you to take a look here, and then I'm going to show you where these things actually are in real time. So when homework says you need to do catch up, so let me show you the kid version of this document first. Every day, asynchronous time is from 1:30 to 2:45 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Sometimes there will be a couple things that I'd like them to just try to finish up on Wednesday, but I can't technically require that because Wednesday's early release. But on these other days, students are expected to be working until 2:45. Okay, I understand that there may be some blocks to that, but we really want to try to hold them to that as much as possible. And I want you to try to think about framing that with your student as school ends at 2:45, not 1:30 when we get offline, that they're still online working and finishing these things. So what that looks like is that step one is reading to self. You want your student to find any books that they can that are close to their level. We understand that more than likely you have very few, if any, books at home that are leveled using our ERLA system. So the magic test really is that the words that they look for are 3 to 5 tricky words per page. Tricky can mean they don't know the meaning or they can't sound it out, depending on where they are in their reading level. And so that's a good litmus test for figuring out if the book is appropriate for your student, okay? So they're going to read to self. We encourage 30 minutes to an hour every day, but during this time, we're expecting about 30. That it's approximately close to their level and that they fill out their reading log on OneNote. When I show you where things are, I will show you what that looks like. iReady math lessons. Starting Monday, if students are finished with their diagnostic, that's a big if because not everyone is, students will be working on iReady math lessons for 25 minutes a day. That includes a My Path lesson, which My Path comes from the computer. It is an algorithm that is assigned to them based on the test they took. So I don't assign My Path. It's assigned to them based on their level. That is Monday, Tuesday. I want them to work in My Path so they get things at their level. On Wednesday, they can take the day off or they can choose. On Thursday and Friday, it's teacher assigned. So there are 2 areas, My Path or teacher assigned. Monday, Tuesday, I want My Path. Thursday, Friday, teacher assigned. So they get a combination of things that support our math core and things that support them as individuals. So teacher assigned is based on the things we're learning currently in class. That's why it's important to keep up on it so that it's relevant to them. These must happen every day. Now, so does this, but it's in a different section because it is, in fact, catch-up work. Any independent work that they did not finish on Canvas from class time today or from another day that week, if they haven't done it yet, is also something they need to work on. This could include literacy, math, science, social studies, or health. Now, honestly, though, at this point in the year, it's mostly going to be math and literacy that are up. And they must make sure to submit the file when they upload it to Canvas to get credit, okay, which we'll be looking at in a moment. So this is where you find those things. When homework says catch up, so that's this piece. When homework says you need to do catch up, this is what I mean. Students are expected to finish and submit work that they started but did not complete during class. So typically I'll be teaching and then we will do something together. It's a practice. I show them, then we practice together, and then they start something on their own that is for them to try that's based on what I just taught. And so often, there's a lot of content and there's not a lot of time, and so they might not get through it. So their job is to come back to that file that they saved and were working on earlier, finish it up and submit it to me. Any work that they need to finish will be on Canvas. They will know it isn't finished because their page will not have a green check by it. So assignment pages have check marks when they're done. Like I said, it could include any subject area, but it is most likely at this moment to include literacy and math. When homework says do iReady, that's an iReady.com. It's a website that they log into externally. You can get there through Kent School District. You can get there through My Canvas, or you could just type it into your Google browser. When you log in there, your SN number is your username. So whatever your student's number is, it's a 6-digit number. And the password is not the same as their computer. Their password is their birthday. And it is also, in this situation, it's 8 digits because you've got month, 2-digit month, 2-digit date, and 2-digit year. Okay? So if they were born, like mine, right, is September, so 09, my day would be 01, the first day of September, and my year, the full year I was born, which I will not reveal because it's disturbing. So I'm older than I look. Let's put it that way. And so they log in that way, and then that's when they need to know if they're going to do a My Path or Teacher Assign, which is on that page I just talked about. Which day they're doing My Path, which day they're doing Teacher Assigned. And honestly, I would have an accountability check with them because Mrs. Croteau, I can see what they're doing. But as a parent, there were a lot of parents in spring where, they thought their student was doing their iReady, and they come to find out, they get an email from me and they're like, my kid told me they were doing it. So I would say, hey, Billy, pull up your iReady and let me see what you did today. Because or maybe they do it later in the day. That's one of those things that doesn't have to be completed like right at 1:30 if you don't want them to do it. Maybe that's something they do after dinner, right? Like every day after dinner, you're going to do iReady for 20 minutes. Okay. So just find a routine that works. Okay. Then read to self. Read to self means that they're picking that book. We already talked about that. We know that right now libraries are tricky. I know you can get books, but then the books go into quarantine for a few days or something like that to be cleaned or isolated, and then you can pick them up. So I know that's less convenient right now than normally. There are online ways to get books, and eventually I am going to share how to do that with you. But I am slowly rolling technology out. But it is important that they're writing that down, because I am able to tailor things that I do for them based on the books they're reading, which I will talk to you about shortly. Note, homework is from 1:30 to 2:45. Okay, that's the expectation time, that they're still in school during that time. And I would highly recommend that you set those routines up with them now, because it's much easier for them to continue working in that time right after school than for them to stop and play video games and watch TV and eat dinner, and then at 8 p.m. say, oh, now it's time to do your homework. You're not going to get the same quality of work out of them. Now, I understand if not possible, okay, if there's some block. But if there's not a block and you can find a way to get that to happen, and you can help them with that accountability and responsibility, and maybe they've got a calendar or a checklist or however you want to set up that routine, I would highly recommend that you do it as close to the end of school as possible, because you're going to get more quality work out of that student at that time. And it's going to probably be less of a battle between you guys too, if you get that routine going. So they can work past 2:45. There's nothing saying that if they want to keep working for another 45 minutes because they're not done and they really want to keep going or they want to do extra credit, go for it, but they do not have to. So that's why technically past 2:45, anything that they give me on Canvas, if you only want your kid working till 2:45 and never past that, and they've worked for that whole time, they can submit whatever they have from Canvas at that point, whatever's done. I would prefer that the whole thing is done, but I cannot require them to work past that mark. Okay, so let me show you where this is. You can get to iReady from Canvas. The only thing that's outside of Canvas really for you is OneNote. So let me show you what that is. So students have OneNote. They've set it up with me. Every student has done this with me. If they're telling you they didn't, that is incorrect. They have set it up with me. Okay? We've set it up in class and we work in it every day. And that is another way for you to help keep your student accountable. Just look through their stuff on OneNote and say, hey, show me what you did in class today. So I'm in Jimmy's right now because I know that we're going to be having you guys watch this video. And so I wanted to show you specifically where this is. But I'm hoping other families might watch the video too. And when I come into OneNote, you can get there because it should be an icon on your desktop. Now, if it is not, you can come over and search OneNote. Now, there are two versions. There's the desktop app and the Windows 10. If your student goes into one and it doesn't look like the right one, like they're like, I've never seen this format before, they may need to go into the other one. Because look, one looks like this. See, it's set up with the folders on the left here, and the folders are underneath each other in a column format versus this one. The same stuff's in there, it just looks different, okay? So if you're in here and you're watching this and you're confused because your student looks this way, that's okay. They're still in the right thing. It's just OneNote for Windows 10, and this one is just the old version of OneNote, the app. Okay, so when I'm saying reading log, there is a tab. These tabs contain pages. This reading log is here. And I want you to know that there are several things inside. The genre page explains what the different genres are since I'm asking them to label them. That's the different kinds of stories that exist. There are also book examples within each genre if a student is particularly interested in one of the genres, but you can of course use Google for that too. This is an example of a filled out reading log with directions attached so you know what to do. Okay. It also tells you what steps are because we record by steps. 1 step is 15 minutes of reading. 2 steps is 30. 3 steps is 45. So it's 15-minute increments of time. You have to read at least 30 minutes during your asynchronous learning time. And we very strongly recommend 30 more minutes at some point in the day. But we know this is a lot right now, so I'm giving some flexibility on that. But for sure, we've got to have 30 minutes a day. And really, though, studies show that an hour a day is really what's most beneficial for students. Then this final page that you have, unless they might have their genre personality in here, but this reading log student copy is what we want to be in. And it'll be blank, so that's how you know to the right one. They need to have the number of steps. Remember, that's 15-minute increments. So if they read 30 minutes, it's 2 steps. 45 minutes, 3 steps. An hour, 4 steps. If you want to just write the amount of minutes, if that's easier for you, it's not a huge deal. Today's date, just month and day. So if I was doing today, I would do 9/18, right? Whoop, 9/18. Book title, the genre, that's the style of book. Horror, poetry, autobiography, mystery, fairy tale, right? Like I said, if they don't know, there's a page that explains. I want them to rate their reading. Did they like it? Did they love it? Did they, is it okay? Did you not like it at all? And this one actually is really important for me. It's a new category this year. Tricky words I found during my reading today. Those are words they can't say or they don't know the definition of. As many as they can find, because that will help me to guide them a little bit more, okay? So that helps if I do one-to-one conferences with them. And it also helped me if I'm looking to make sure they're reading a level that's appropriate, since we don't all have leveled books right now. So this is the main expectation in OneNote as far as homework goes. Okay, but this is also something that might be good for you to know, that I have a section that's other help, tech, and more, that gives students levels and passwords and things of that nature. I have a page that has helpful math posters. If students are stuck on a concept, when we introduce new concepts, I will put helpful posters in here that might help them, okay, that they can refer back to, like a living journal. Same with literacy, which I don't think there's anything in there yet. Nope, not yet. And in any other situation where maybe they need it. There's also some fluency videos if they want to practice multiplication strategies and whatnot, because that's something they're going to need to do a lot of this year. And so it's good to have the facts down. But those are not homework. Those are just things to know about. You know, and you may want to check through and be like, did my student do this work today? Because we do a lot of math guided practice in class, and it has it by dates. You can see if they're filling it out. And they should be. So now I'm going to show you Canvas. If you really want to know more about Canvas, you can watch the Canvas overview video that goes through Canvas in more detail. If you would like to know how to submit a file, there's a video about submitting a file. This video is specifically about homework. Okay, I'm going to do student view because it's going to look different for the students. When they get into their course, this is Mrs. Croteau's fabulous fourth graders course. Make sure they're in the right course. The course icon is a panda if they need to get in there. So actually, let me go to my dashboard just in case. Oh no, is it because I'm in student view? Probably. So let me show you what the course page looks like. So there's a course page or a dashboard. You might see other teams on there, because I think they have a music team and a PE team too. I have like all my teacher ones on here. They'll want to find Mrs. Croteau's. Okay, now I'll go into the student view. So when they get here, in order to find their homework, that's that requirement that I showed you a few minutes ago. This is their catch-up work. So things they didn't finish from the morning. Now, they should have already saved their stuff from the morning in their file folder. If they already started it in class, they don't need to go download it again. It should be in the file folder, right? And so I've had students set up file folders in their OneDrive, and then they should have a file that's for health, literacy, math, science, and social studies. These files will live right underneath the OneDrive. So I just have way more because I'm a teacher and I have all these other things that I'm doing. But the kids really, when you click on OneDrive in your file explorer, should only have these subjects. So if a student started math already this morning, they don't need to go back to Canvas and download it again, because then it will be blank. If they want to work on the file they were already doing, they need to find the file in their notebook. So let's say it was math from today. They'd go into their math thing, they'd open it up. It should already be saved there because we do this in class. And then they should get to their page. And if they had already filled it out, hopefully it'd have some drawings on it and stuff. So they'd want to go through that way to get it if they saved it. Now, if they didn't save it already and they have to start from scratch, that is when they'll need to go in to the Orange Cat. Remember, Orange Cat is where my assignments are. And it'll take you to the week and they'll find the day. So if they have not downloaded it, they have not saved it yet, then they'll go into that page and they'll download the file. Like I said, though, if they have, they need to find it through their file explorer and where they saved it in their OneDrive earlier. Okay. Now, when they're ready to submit the thing they'd been working on and they've saved it and it's in their OneDrive, they'd come over to submit assignment. It drops you down to this area where you can choose your file. And what's cool is it brings you up to something that looks just like File Explorer does. So look, I'm back in basically the File Explorer that I was in before. It's just embedded in the site. So I need to find OneDrive. It has a cloud. Aha, here's OneDrive. I need to find the folder that I'm in. So your students, like I said, will probably just have health, social studies, science, math, and literacy right here. So if they're submitting math, they need to find math. So I'm going to pretend I'm a student. I have the student test notebooks to show you. I'm going to go, aha, math, double click. Today, my assignment I'm turning in is 918. I'm going to click that one. I'll know I've selected it when it's turned blue. I'm going to open it up. I will know that it attached because its name will be there. Be careful. If your student downloaded this many, many times, they might have several 918 maths. That's why mine has a 1 in the parentheses. I downloaded it more than one time. So make sure it's the one that they have written on. Check the file name. Then when I'm ready, I can submit my assignment. I know it's attached. I know it's the right one. I'm going to submit. It'll think for a moment, and then it will give me some kind of confetti. I will also see that it says submitted right here. Also, you can typically check, though I've noticed that this glitches sometimes, but typically you can check too by going to modules, and things that are done will have a green check. If for some reason it doesn't, and you're like, I'm pretty sure I submitted it, what the heck, go into it to triple check, and then it'll say it's submitted, and it'll have like the file name right here attached. Okay, so really, you've got to have a couple quick things. You've got to have catch-up work from Canvas, which, like I said, they should have saved in the morning and already started most of the time. Most of the time, they should have at least had it up. And then they will need to read and record on OneNote. And the final one is iReady. You can go there from here or the Kent School District site, but this handy link will take you right there. And that's where they will log in with their username SN. Their password is their birthday, 2-digit, 4-digit, and their state. That's when they pop in, it'll say My Path or Teacher Assigned. But right now, many of them, if they went in, it would show the test because they're still taking the test, okay? If you ever get stuck and want to know more about homework, you can click on that circle and it will take you to that homework, where to find it and what to do page that I showed you at the very beginning. This also gives you a sample schedule, a recommended schedule of when students do what. Please remember, like I said, that this will probably be changing a bit due to the fact that it sounds like we might have a schedule change. Also remember that if you get stuck at any point and you need to watch a different video, such as the more specific video on how to submit, there's a technical help section on my modules that you can get through by pushing this hand. And in here, there's some Canvas videos. It will say video if it's a video. There will be some just general overview documents, and same for each of these other areas. Some are documents, some are videos. Okay. Also, just last thing that I just thought of, you'll know that it's a student assignment page on your student pages if it has a piece of paper with a pencil on it, because these are specific assignments. And that's the icon. If it's just a plain piece of paper, usually that's just a page. Like, just read this and look at it. Though sometimes there might be a survey in there. So if my title says survey or please complete, even if it's inside of a page, you might still need to do it. So just be careful. But the ones for sure that they have to do are going to be these ones with pencil and paper. This icon here means quiz, the little rocket ship. And that's typically an in-class assignment. Almost every single time. So if it's not done, that's the only time they might have to do it later. I know this is a lot in a video, but feel free to watch it as many times as you need and reach out if you have questions about anything. Remember that you can find those documents and videos in these sections here, and then that homework help page is here as well as our general schedule. And more videos will come shortly for other things, I'm sure. Thank you.